We are looking at strong support and resistance zones for currency pairs. Here are some of the strongest support and resistance zones: 22,000, 1.22,000, 23,000, 1.24, 25. These are zones that work 90% of the time. So when you're doing these zones, make sure you are accurate on numbers. 21,000, 22,000. Never make a mistake on numbers. 23,000. Now, coming to 1 hour time frame, we can create other sub zones that are in the midpoints of these major zones. So, and in this case, we can look at the midpoint of this, and I'll change the color, something like blue. Always make sure this, if you're using trading view to draw these lines, make sure they are dim. You can reduce the opacity to even 20%. You don't want to make them too bright, so that your chart looks at least clear. The candles are clear. So in the midpoint, you can look at 24, 1.24, 500. Those are the midpoints. Now come to the second one. $23,500. If you're using trading view, you can lock these zones whenever you draw them, so that you don't always move them accidentally whenever you are drawing on other patterns in the chart. You can click these, make sure you lock them. So this is the second level. There's still one last midpoint. So in this case, we can let me unlock this and move here. So we can change the color to something else. Let's say green. Okay. So this one will be 750. $250. For Euro USD, you can use the following numbers to create major zones. That is 1.07,000. 1.08 thousand, 09,000, 1.10,000, 1.06,000. So the midpoints will be, okay, you can change the color first. So this will be 500. And now we can go for the midpoint between the blue and this orange line. It's the last one. Let me use 30 minutes. So that this will be 250. The color should be green. 750. If you check these zones, whichever zone you choose, they represent strong support and resistance. So you can use them with any strategy you have. So they form support and resistance. Price respects these zones. Whichever time frame you are using, these zones, price respects these zones. This was a very strong support. For example, if you're using trend lines, you can draw a trend line, and if you want to draw a perfect trend line, you can make sure you're using line. You switch your chart to line so that you can get a perfect touches on your trend lines. Then you can take it back to candlesticks. So you can see there was a break of this trend line. So this is called a break and retest. So you wait for the retest and then you take your trade. So this could have been a good buy. And so in this case you are looking at it from the zone. If it happens within the zone, it has high probability, and this was a good risk reward ratio of 1:4. So this is how you use these zones. Any entries should take place within a zone that will give perfect entries.